films where they're part of a franchise, but they're kind of deviating away from the franchise. It has the sickest ending from any horror movie.
Spoiler alert also for a 40-year-old movie.
Drive-by movies, and you're watching
Screen Scuffle.
My name is Blaze.
And my name is James.
And this week we're taking on, I chose for my film,
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Arguably one of the best Halloween movies, and you chose
Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning.
The one that people don't consider part of the franchise, kind of. Well, a lot of them people don't consider part of the franchise, but that one's more the oddball of the group.
Yeah, and as you can see, I actually came prepared today. I wore my silver shamrock shirt, and it looks like you wore a shirt for a movie that you're not doing, which is kind of the same thing because the movie that you picked is the only Friday the 13th movie that doesn't include Jason. It just includes a random guy with a hockey mask that kind of looks like Jason, kind of like how you're just wearing a random Saw t-shirt today.
You got me there.
Well, if that's the way you feel.
Spoiler alert also for a 40-year-old movie. How dare you? Well, for all those poor people who have never seen it. Yeah, it is the oddball, but it's a very coherent movie, very well directed.
But also the worst Friday the 13th movie.
No, it's absolutely not. You rated it 3 stars on Letterboxd. You like that one.
I think the only reason I like that movie is like Reggie.
Yes, Reggie definitely holds the movie together. He's super hilarious.
But if he wasn't in the movie, like, I would hate that movie.
We got the guy dressed like Michael Jackson who's taking a shit in a and gets killed. It's hilarious. It's also he's also one of the punk rockers from Return of the Living Dead too.
Yeah.
My movie brings us Violet, the love life of so many people, the first goth girl to enter the Friday the 13th franchise, and they based a whole character on her in the Friday the 13th video game.
Yeah, but that game's not great. Let's just be honest.
We all love that game. It still has a cult following. Everyone loves that.
It's like
game.
Roblox, basically. Yeah. It's like people love it, but it's like essentially. But anyways, let's talk about the elephant in the room. So both the movies that we picked or the movies that we're discussing are actually films where they're part of a franchise, but they're kind of deviating away from the franchise. Your film doesn't include Jason. Mine obviously doesn't include Michael Myers. But is arguably one of the best Halloween movies because this was the original vision of the Halloween, I guess, franchise in a way. Like Michael Myers appeared in the first 2 films, but the Michael Myers saga was supposed to end. Yeah. Halloween 3 is an original movie, and then after that they would do Halloween movies every year, every other couple years, and it would be a new story in like this Halloween sort of like universe, I guess. This is actually, it was like John Carpenter's idea to have these like horror movies that all be under the Halloween tagline, but not involved in any way.
Yeah, I agree. It would have been a great concept, but it sucks so bad that they ended up scratching the idea after your movie.
Yeah, but the problem is like you don't have Jason in your movie, and we have actually one of the horror history's most villainous villains in my film, Cochran.
Yeah. I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
So if you don't know who Cochran is, he's the villain of my film. And basically, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch is very high art. It has a very interesting, fun concept that you actually haven't seen in any other horror film. And it really just captures the idea of Halloween not as a franchise, but as a holiday with essentially there are these masks, which you can see on my shirt if you haven't seen the movie, but these masks that kids are going to put on. And when the clock strikes, I think it's like 9 p.m. or something. It's not midnight because kids aren't staying up though. Let's be honest. But when clock strikes 9, like essentially they're going to all turn into like bugs. Like the mask is going to crunch up and the bugs and snakes are going to come out of their eyes because they're being sacrificed to some type of demonic, I guess, presence or something. And it's very high art, where yours is literally just another Friday the 13th movie, but we didn't include Jason. It's just Jason adjacent.
I mean, I guess you can say that, but like it's definitely like more the start of the comedic tones, which we all love, and it was the turning stone for why people like Friday the 13th. It was the one franchise that didn't take itself too seriously. We all know Jason can still beat up Michael Myers, and we still think this handyman from this movie can beat up Michael Myers. Your movie doesn't even have Michael Myers, too.
Yeah, so that's out of the question. You can't beat up
true.
Cochrane or the Silver Shamrock Corporation.
Who's the lead actor in your movie, by the way? I know he's like a popular John Carpenter guy.
It's Tom Atkins.
Tom Atkins. We all know that guy does not swing dick at all. Why is he always getting all the women?
No. This is the problem, because I knew you were going to say that he's slinging too much. He slings dick like crazy in this movie with like androids and like these like the Silver Shamrock like plants, I guess it's weird, but I think that's my favorite thing is every Tom Atkins movie he's always slinging dick, and that's the thing is like you don't think he can sling dick, but he's slinging dick in the movies and it's believable.
Yeah,
his mustache sells it.
Yeah. Well, my movie's got Tommy Jarvis. It has a cameo by Corey Feldman at the beginning of the movie. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do the movie, so that's kind of not helping my argument with this one. But at least it has Corey Feldman and got a familiar face.
Yeah, but your movie also doesn't have a memorable score at all, and mine has a great score.
It's got the ding, ding, ding sound effects.
Yeah, but mine has a banger soundtrack and also
the
like
most annoying song of all time.
No, that song
is still Halloween.
That song is amazing. The commercial's amazing. The end of my film is probably one of the best Halloween like movie or horror movie endings of all time.
Please stop it now. Turn it off. Stop it.
It has the sickest ending from any horror movie, like one of the sickest endings. I'm not gonna play ultimatums to say it's the best horror ending, but it's probably my favorite. How is that your film end that we just find out that the killer isn't Jason?
Basically, sadly, they ended it with a cool concept, but they decided not to explore it in the 6th movie. That's on the director's choice for the 6th movie. It ends with Tommy Jarvis surviving, and he decides to put on the Jason mask and like kind of become Jason, and it ends on like a freeze frame.
Yeah, well, a freeze frame is very iconic for Friday the 13th, but in 2022, freeze frame is like the most boring way to end a movie. Like, I don't think anyone does it anymore.
Yeah.
And my film doesn't end. Sorry, my film ends on a freeze frame as well now I think about it. But mine's a way better freeze frame. It's Tom Atkins like screaming and then the credits come on.
It's funny that both our movies do have in common though that they like upset fans so much that they were like, all right, we need to make sure for the next one we get back to basics and everything.
True. But the real point is at the end of my film, disappointed fans, but now has a huge cult following. There's literally no cult following for your movie. There's a lot of people that love Season of the Witch.
And there's people who tolerate mine. I got Jay Bauman from Red Letter Media. I know he loves this one at least.
That's it.
Yeah.
Anyways, wrapping this up. That's it for Screen Scuffle here. But who do you think won? We're gonna go to producer Jordan to see who kind of won this scuffle. So Jordan, what do you think? Okay, I got a consolation prize, I guess.
To be fair, I think you did win that battle. I went in excited because I actually genuinely do like A New Beginning, but the more I think about your movie, it's good. And this was, you won this one fair and square, I'd say. We're even though right now. Let's see what goes down in our next episode. Thanks so much for checking us out. Let us know what you thought about the movies. You Michael Myers or Jason stan? Well, they're both not in either our movies, but let us know which of the weird sequels you prefer in the comments below, if whether you agree with Blaze or I, and let us know what other episodes would make great movie fights for us too for Screen Scuffle. This is James signing out.
Blaze, see you guys next week.